also look at it in a way as you're able to share your expertise more widely, because you can create these tools and this content, which could have taken you months, if not years otherwise.
The Massage and Physical Therapist Talk Show, brought to you by Massage Warehouse.
We're here for the Massage and Physical Therapist Talk Show, episode 12. Don't panic, anyone listening, thinking this is the last episode. I have raised some questions and I think we're just going to keep going for a bit longer, which is great. Because number 12's just creeps up on us before we even know it. In my head, I thought, oh, there must only be 12 episodes in each season. But, you know, if there's enough stuff to talk about, then I guess they'll just keep on going. And today's guest is really an interesting person. Runs a really interesting company, and today's topic is actually really interesting as well, and I can't wait to get involved. But today I would like to introduce Sunita Passy. Sunita, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Yes,
it's awesome to have you here.
Thank you. Well, delighted to be here
on this hot summer's day. Yeah, we need our fan. Good job. I was going to put my fan on and thought it might interrupt the sound quality, so I'll have to just sweat it out instead.
Sweat it out.
So, Sunita, you are the founder of Tridosha. Have I said that correctly?
You have indeed, yes.
So let's just get straight into this. Just tell us a bit about Tridosha, about you, about how you fell into this line of work, your journey. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll try and keep it short and sweet. So some of your audience may know my work. So founder of Tridosha. We're an Ayurvedic wellness company. So we've got a training academy which I launched in 2005. We train therapists and practitioners in Ayurvedic bodywork, in facials, in some of the more traditional therapies, and we run the core training course twice a year from Nottingham. Then in 2008, I started development of all of our lovely products. So we've got all these 20 beautiful authentic products. We grow our ingredients in Tamil Nadu in India,
Wow.
and then those ingredients are imported to us here in the UK. And so we locally blend, locally formulate all of the oils. So we're using oils specific for different body types. We have oils for a treatment called Shirodhara, which is where warm oils poured onto the third eye, deeply relaxing, skincare, bathing products, and then also under my own platform, under my name, I'm a teacher, author, educator. And under that platform, you can get our books, you can get webinars on Ayurveda as a health system, if you want to know a little bit more about the whole health system. And really, we're a distinctive platform for well-being, for holistic health. Anyone who, wants to venture down the holistic health or the Ayurvedic route, then come to us and we can tell you all about it and teach you and train you and accredit you and do all those lovely things.
Wow, I don't know how you fit it all in, to be honest. I thought I was busy, but I guess it's just when you start doing something, it's just then, but now I want to add this and I want to add this. And before you know it, it just snowballs into this big, amazing thing. So what came first? Was it the training route, training people?
Training, yeah. So my previous career, before I set the business up, was as a journalist, and I was actually writing about business, and I was traveling a lot. My job took me to different countries, and I would always seek out the local therapists. I'd always have a massage to de-stress, to balance my energy. And then I started to get into yoga, and then my company sent me to India, and that's where I got reconnected to this health system. And I just had really good results, Chris. So, I was having the treatments, having the therapies, started to bring in a regular meditation practice and could really feel the benefits on myself. And when I was at school and I studied biology, it was, I'd learned all about the system from the West. And actually, the system from the East is focused on energy. It's energy balancing. And I wanted to know more and dive deeper. So I actually stayed in India. So I started some training in India, in southern India, in Kerala, which is kind of like where every sort of body worker goes when they first get into Ayurveda. They want to learn more about the tools and the techniques, and then that just took me on a deeper journey. So then I qualified as a practitioner, which is looking at the whole system. It's nutrition, it's various other tools as well. And so initially I'd set a clinic up. I was living in London, and like yourself, I had my clinic in London, and it was from the clinic that the training first grew, because I wanted to empower other therapists with the tools and the techniques. And it was a time in the UK where there really wasn't much information or knowledge about Ayurveda, because we're going back 2005, so we're going back 19 years now, and people couldn't even say the word properly. So it'd be like, "Are you what? Sorry, what did you say?" And over time, as in the West, as more people have got into yoga, mindfulness, that's kind of moved them into Ayurveda as well, and understanding that this is a whole system. And we're working through energy points, basically, balancing stress, tension, anxiety. Very grounding. They're very grounding, the techniques.
So if anyone was listening to this and thinking, they've heard Ayurvedic massage, they've heard Ayurvedic, the word, but they're thinking, I don't actually know what that is. If I was going to book myself in for a massage or a treatment, and I seen Ayurvedic, I'd think, oh yeah, I'll try that. But what does it entail?
Yeah, so Ayurveda is a Sanskrit word. Sanskrit is the ancient language of India, and Aya means life and Veda means knowledge. So literally it's the science or the knowledge of life. And I break it down as a system into different components. So you've got nutrition, yoga and meditation, you have herbal remedies, you've got cleansing techniques, and then you've got body work. So body work is a component within the Ayurvedic system, and so it's an integrative system. You can see it's not sort of when you start to walk this path, you can consider that all of those as a holistic health system are good for you. Now, if you were going for an Ayurvedic massage or an Ayurvedic bodywork session, that would entail, first of all, having an individualized consultation. So I would assess you and get an understanding of your dosha type, your body type. And there's 3 specific ones, but actually we can be a mix. So kind of having a look at you and having a look at your constitution and your eyes and, the color of your hair. And so there are various giveaways immediately as a therapist in this system, but also we also look at health ailments within the body as well. We also look at the mind, and then we can ascertain what body type you are. And once I know what body type you are, then I can recommend the most appropriate treatment. So for instance, the core treatment would be the Abhyanga, which is oil massage. And that oil, we go downwards. So we start from the head and we're grounding, because we're pacifying the energy, grounding the energy into the feet. But also we can integrate massage to specific energy points, mama points on the body as well. So actually you've got 108 of these points mapped all over the body, very similar to the Chinese system. And when we're massaging, we're also focusing on that map of energy points, because this is where energy gets stuck. So I like to think of it like, the London tube, that, if it's a busy day and you get off at the tube, it's all that there's a lot of stagnant, stuck energy there. And so through the massages, we're really encouraging that flow of energy, of life force. In Ayurveda, we use a word called prana. Chinese medicine, they call it chi. And prana it's literally the life force within the body. So enabling that to flow and move freely.
Wow, sounds fantastic. So going back to me saying how busy you are and how you've got these many different angles to Tridosha and what's going on, it kind of brings me on to today's main subject. Obviously, I'm here to hear about you and to find out all about you. But the subject is how AI can actually enhance your massage practice. Now, when I seen the subject title for today's podcast, I actually thought, wow, that's actually an interesting topic. because you'll get some that are a pro AI and you'll get a lot that are anti AI. For anyone wondering what AI is, if they're not sure, it's artificial intelligence. So obviously now more than ever, you see the name cropping up a lot. Things like what is it? Is it
Yeah.
ChatBT?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know, it's basically to summarize it, it's obviously much more intelligent than this, but it's a computer almost, yeah, that you can ask it anything and it'll pretty much tell you the answer, or it'll do it for you. And yeah, is that kind of right to dumb it down?
Yeah, it's and I will be honest with you, Chris. You know, a year and a half ago, I was on the other side where I was really pushing myself away from it. I was the last person to have my phone connected to my emails. I waited as long as I could, and then I had a project where I realized I needed to actually be more quicker with responses. So I'm always the last one to get involved, and I could just see just the growth of it, and I thought, actually I need to get my head around this and not fear it, because I'm sure it's a valuable asset if I can just understand it better. So I've spent the last year doing quite a lot of training. I went on a digital marketing course, which was absolutely fantastic, with a tutor called Scott Merrick, who I would recommend to everyone. I'm actually currently through another program with Nottingham University in immersive technology. So that's even on another level where, we start to look at teaching and training and the metaverse and how we can create experiences, through this technology. But in a nutshell, I would really say, as long as you're working with the tools, the apps, in order to service your business, to support your business and your business growth, the tools can be used really effectively. I think when it becomes a negative is when if there aren't boundaries around those tools or why you're using them, or then there's a constant scrolling, and then actually practically it's then not the technologies, then not, it's having that balance, between actually this new technology, these new tools, how it can be a valuable asset and support you with your growth. And just so I think things like efficiency and organization, that's what I've seen as a core. So when I went through this program and I learned lots of different tools, which I can share with you, it's really phenomenal what's coming up. But the biggest things were things like client management. There are tools to support you with your database. So something as simple as that. There are tools for scheduling and booking, which are going to take the headache away from you. Because if you're a solo practice and you're managing all of those sides of things yourself, then you can actually automate your appointment scheduling, with some of these tools. I also think from marketing and creation perspective, it blows my mind, because if you think, as a small business owner, and we've been around since 2005. We, with our content, we work with, I just think of, we put blogs up, we have a newsletter, we have social media, and all of these takes time and, time and cost. And actually, these new AI tools are helping you develop professional marketing material literally in seconds. So you can actually put together really professional marketing material with either no core cost or a fraction of the cost, which, if you're running a small business, a micro business, it's helping you develop your online presence. It's helping you stay ahead with regards to SEO, because you can regularly post a blog, whereas maybe, you might at the moment have to think, I've got to take a whole day out of my schedule in a month to be able to sit there, put all this content together. These AI tools are literally taking that headache away from you. So if you use them if you work with them in that way, then you can broaden your online presence. You can have regularity. to the content that you produce and share. And I think also then, individually, you're not spending excessive time online either, because actually the tools are taking that headache away from you. So, there's just so many tools. So for instance, if you're a specialist in a certain area, I mean, Chris, your area, I mean, I love what you were telling me before we started, how you deliver your treatments is amazing. So tell me about that and what your specialism is.
So obviously I'm a massage therapist, a reflexologist. My main practice is on a canal boat, which is where my clients come to see me. I do home visits and various workshops and corporate stuff as well, but predominantly that's my hub. That's where I'm based. And I'll be honest, I struggle with social media. If you go on my Instagram, you'll see the posts are quite spread out. It's, it's when I grab a second to do stuff, I keep on top of it enough, but not as much as I probably should. So someone like me, how would this help me?
Yeah. So on your website, can I just ask, so do you put up a blog at all, or do you just no time, don't do it? Could you do it if you had the time?
If I had the time, but then you've got to be thinking of, obviously there's subjects and this, that, and the other that you think of, but it's then, like you say, having the time to sit down and start it. I did used to have a blog section, but I kind of took it away after a bit because I realised I wasn't keeping up with it.
So so did you send a newsletter out?
Again, very sporadically.
Yeah. And then social media.
I tried to do the odd post, yeah. I'm more of the old school at the minute, aren't I?
And do you need it to build your practice, or are you the
problem is, it's not a problem at all. I'm very busy doing various 1,000,001 different things, so I don't mind having the odd gaps here and there, But if I wanted to be on the boat Monday to Friday and fill all the spaces, then I would obviously need to do all of this. And at some point, I probably do need to do this. So I'm probably going to learn a lot today.
So just those three things will I kid you not, will help you build that presence if that was a road you wanted to go down. So the first thing is with social media. I mean, I think many therapists do know about this now and use it, but you've got Canva. So Canva will help you create content and schedule it. So, if you just set out half a day a month and consider that to be your marketing, you can do that with Canva and then schedule it out, because you can only schedule out a month in advance. And there are a few other tools as well, but that's a very easy one to use.
And Canva has an AI tool built in, doesn't it? Because I have used that before, where I've kind of typed in what I imagined in my head, what I would like visually on this post. And I kind of, it threw up some daft sort of things as well, but it was scarily accurate to what I was thinking in my mind when I typed in. And I'm talking like, you can be really specific, can't you? So you could be like, this is nothing massage related, but you could be like, I want you to do me an image of a pink elephant riding a unicorn while smoking a cigar. And it'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it will. If that's what's going to resonate with your clients, that's brilliant. More of that.
That's my marketing sorted.
Yeah, I've got a friend who is an artist, and that's been their career, and they're using the AI tool now a lot more to create these kind of images, and it blows your mind. But if that's your market, then that's right, you can do that. But there are also free sites. Again, I think this is stuff that most people would know, where you can get nice images that are suitable for your practice. But then to take it up a level, if you do publish a regular blog, you've got more people coming into your website, because search engine optimization, Google likes you to see publishing new content when it sees that your website, because you've got to, it's like putting gas in a car. It's in order to get that engine going, that's your gas. You've got to bring things into the website. And up until now, this is too much time for most therapists.
Of course it is, yes.
Days to take out of your practice to sit there thinking about content. But you can go into ChatGPT and you can say, this is my specialism, tell ChatGPT a bit about you, what's unique about you, and then say, can you give me, if you publish, one blog every fortnight, can you give me 3 months worth, 6 ideas, 6 ideas for the next 3 months of blogs that I could publish. So that,
And do you speak this? Are you speaking to it, or are you typing all this in?
You type it all in. Yeah, you
And
type it all in.
As if you were just having a conversation with a human, but you're just asking this chat GPT or whatever it is to what, and it will give you the idea. It'll give you the subjects ideas for the blog. So will it write the blogs for you that you can then edit and change stuff? Is that
so? It is. It's all there for the taking. So the more specific you are, the more you'll get something that probably you resonate with. Because remember, it is a robot still. So it's, you've still got to go through whatever it comes up with and just make sure that feels okay. Because I've seen some people starting to use ChatGPT as literally a copy and a paste, and you can really tell. So that's definitely not the road to go down. Because also you can push people away if your customer hasn't got that personal connection with you, because they're like, well, this doesn't quite feel right. So definitely always make sure you go through what you are putting out, and it is, you are tweaking it to make sure it's your brand. That's ultimately your brand, isn't it? So then with chat, you can also ask it to generate content for blogs. And you can, 350 words is a nice size blog, and it will generate that content for you. But there's another AI tool that specifically focuses on blogs, and that's called Koala. And that is an app that is specifically created for that. So, you could use the two. You could use ChatGPT to come up with some initial ideas, and then you can use Koala. Again, it's the free version. You're literally asking it questions and giving it some information, and it's mind-blowing, really. So if you and it's doing it in seconds. I mean, literally seconds. It's formatting ideas for you.
And this is all just available for anyone to access if they want.
The Massage and Physical Therapist talk show is brought to you by Massage Warehouse. Run by therapists for therapists, we're committed to solving common issues you might encounter in your massage therapy practice. Here at Massage Warehouse, we understand how important your massage table is to you, and how much you try to keep your table protected.
Oh!
However, accidents can happen. The last thing any therapist wants to see is an unsightly tear, rip, or mark on their table. Not only do these marks look bad, there is a chance that they will grow and cause even more damage to your table. Many therapists think they'll have to replace their entire table. However, we have a solution. Introducing our massage table adhesive repair patches, the simple way to fix tears and prevent further damage to your table. To use the patch, first clean around the area of the tear for any dust or dirt using a dry cloth. Next, peel off the back of the patch. After this, carefully apply the patch over the tear. Finally, smooth around the edges of the repair patch for perfect application. And your table should be repaired and good to go. Our patches come in 3 different colours: black, navy and cream. We have different size repair patches available, and should you have a uniquely shaped tear on your upholstery, we can create a custom size repair patch for you. Check out our website massagewarehouse.co.uk to see the full range. Now back to the show.
I mean, I know a lot of people listening to this and probably not going to not like the idea of it, which is fine, and I guess like you've already made the point of saying is that you don't want to just copy and paste something it says, because it could take away that personal touch that you have, that individuality that you have, which is one thing that I guess they say is that a robot would never be able to sort of mimic yet. But as a massage therapist or a physical touch therapist, I guess the one savior we all have is that currently, I know you can get like massage chairs and stuff, but currently nothing can replace our hands and can replace that sort of human connection between us and our clients.
And never will be able to.
Yeah.
I mean, never will be able to.
Because I know
Yeah, when we spend time with a client, it's the delivery of the treatment, but it's also the connection, it's the exchange of energy. We're bringing our intuition as therapists into that session. It's, you know, it's that will never ever be able to be replicated, because that's an energy exchange that can only happen on a human level. And and also holding space. It's you know, there's so much healing that we can let go of things when we, you know, when space is held for us, if we're holding on to stuff. So as much as AI, you can use it to gather data, you can use it to, you know, to give you some content ideas, you can use it even, you know, I'm currently writing my next book, and I've been doing data collection from the therapists that I've been training over the years. And there's even an AI tool that we've been able to put that data into, and it's actually analysing that data for us. So, I mean, it's mind-boggling what it can do. But I think the practicality of that one-to-one session is worth its weight in gold. And
do you ever worry that it might get a little bit like cheeky and mischievous and like just give you a load of gobbledygook, a load of rubbish that you then think it must be true because you've asked? Do you know, I worry that like they'll start tricking us and, you know, these computers, and you'll say, right, I want to write a blog about hoppy ear candles or something, you know, and blah blah blah, and then you ask the thing, and then someone asks it, and then it just writes a load of nonsense about magic wands and this, that, and the other, and you don't realize. And I guess this is why you don't just paste in what it says, do you? Because because you don't know if it's trying to it's not going to, obviously, but because I presume how it works is that just sends all this stuff out into the internet and finds articles, finds papers, finds studies on that subject, and sort of grabs all the relevant info and gives it you.
Yeah, it's like a big brain with like antennae that literally just goes out into cyberspace and finds the information, and that's what it's bringing in. And also the other thing that my tutor told us, because I said, well, what if, you know, we're writing about Ayurveda, if we're, you know, looking for certain content ideas, and another training school is looking for the same ideas, will it come up with the same content? And actually, I you know, apparently not. It will never repeat the same content. So
wow.
So I know. So that's quite, you know, that's fascinating. One of the other things to note is it's still catching up a bit as well with information. So I believe that it's up to it's got absolutely everything in its brain up to the beginning of 2023. I think that's where we're at now.
Yeah.
So stuff that's happened, research or things that have happened in the last couple of years may not be included if you're expecting that to be included.
Yeah. So if you were asking for studies in this, that, and the other of something that was just passed and happening last year, it might not have the relevant. But in that case, would it just say, sorry, that I don't know about that yet?
Yeah, it does. That's exactly what it does. Yeah, it does say, it says sorry. Yeah, and it apologizes, and it's quite something, really. So it's but one thing I have, you know, we're using it quite a bit now in different ways, and so far I have definitely found that it is consistent. So, you know, because this is an area of expertise, so you know, I've got 20 years of knowledge myself of the area that I'm teaching. You know, I know the stats, I know the information, so and everything that it's been feeding us through when we've been working with it, you know, that content has been correct. But you know, it's still I wouldn't say take your foot off the pedal yet. Always make sure, you know, you read it properly and that it sounds, you know, that you're tweaking it and it sounds human, and think about positively how it can help you. You know, where is it in your practice that you need help? Is it with the marketing? You know, is it with the admin? Is it with even with design? If you want to, you know, my first book took 2 years to write. You know, my second book was actually nothing to do with Ayurveda. It was my mother's cooking recipes, and I published. She passed her recipes on to me and my sisters, and published a book around that. And now, you know, the third book is again back to health. And it can, it can help you with a lot of research. So it means, say, for instance, if you wanted to put out an ebook on your specialism, there's another app called Designer with a double R. And there's a basic version which is free, and then there's a paid for version. But again, even the paid for version is very cost effective compared to what you would be paying out for if you had an editor and a whole team working on that. So it's you can also look at it in a way as you're able to share your expertise more widely, because you can create these tools and this content which could have taken you months, if not years otherwise. First you've got to find the time, then you've got to sit down, you've got to strategize it. And
so basically it's admin, isn't it? So
yeah,
so AI can really help anyone and everyone that wants to use it with admin, but you still have to get that info from it and then put that in your, it won't do it for you and put it in your website for you.
No,
it's not that clever, is it? It doesn't have access to your computer to be able to, you can't just open up ChatGPT and say, "Hi mate, can you just update my website for me and add this?" You can't, you still have to physically go on and sign in and format it and this, that, and the other. That's just giving you the information that you might need.
And maybe giving you some extra ideas as well. Yeah. Now, further down the line, it is continually progressing. So there is, if it's not already here, there is also AI software being created where it is going to connect, almost be like a client management system.
Which integrated into your device, I guess.
Into your device and your website, and but it'll still have to be managed by you. It's not something that can go, oh, it's Monday morning 9 o'clock, right, I'll crack on with it. You're always going to have to.
Well, I often think, I've heard recently that Apple are looking to integrate AI into its software and this, that, and the other, and obviously some people have kicked off about it, saying it might be a breach of privacy and stuff. But I think the one thing for me, I always think, is I spend a lot of time driving to different places, and I always think, if I could just do my emails while I'm driving, and just talk to someone while I'm driving and have a conversation and ask them what it says, and then say, "Oh, could you just reply to that for me with this?" And then hear back, and I'm sure, I know you can have voice things on your phones and stuff, but I guess once all AI is integrated into your phone or whatever, I guess it would have access to your emails, and then you would be able to get it to then, and you could then just be like, "Oh, and while you're at it, just add this into my diary for next week. Oh, and can you go onto my booking system and edit such and such's booking?" And I guess it would somehow all be integrated, now.
Yeah, I mean, you can, already we've got voice apps as well, haven't we? So we're already seeing that. So it'll continue to be enhanced, and we will see all of these things. Everything you've just spoken about, we will definitely see that on a more, common use, as it were. I still, from doing the courses I've been doing, my teachers in this area have all been saying they still feel we're like a good 5 years away before it becomes mainstream, because again, it goes back to so many people are not seeing it as maybe aren't at that stage where they see it as something, as a valuable asset in their life or their work yet. So it's going to be baby steps for a lot of people. But by the point more people come on board and are integrating it, by that point, I think the things that you've just mentioned will then be available, to those that want it.
So just to be balanced and on either side of the AI argument here, because there'll be a lot of people listening that probably have concerns. So a couple of things I was thinking of, because I've been thinking about this over the last few days when I seen the subject title, because I've not really given it a thought, to be honest. There's a lot of pros I can see, for me, that would help progress, and it would help keep the admin side of the business running, if you like, which I guess is good, because that allows me more free time to actually put my heart and soul into the actual physical treatment itself, which I think is, if we burn ourselves out on the admin, we can't obviously then be as giving our 100% to our clients at our face-to-face sort of sessions. But so you're going to get some people thinking, because I was listening to something on Radio 4 while I was driving about AI, and they were talking about the energy consumption with so these like things like chat GPT and these apparently they're being used more and more, but the amount of energy they actually use is quite a lot. I can't remember the figures. They were like, it was like, I'd have to ask ChatGPT to give me the figures probably. But so you're getting people using it for simple tasks like as a calculator, for instance, when they could just get the calculator up on the phone or get a physical calculator out there thing. So then they're using all this energy for something that they don't need to, you know. So you might get some therapists in our line of work that are obviously very eco-minded. They're very you know, everything's natural, and so to use something like chat GPT that's going to use a lot of energy could go against their morals, maybe. So that's one thought I could think that might put people off using it. I'm presuming as technology advances and we go greener and the, you know, solar energy becomes more, you know, and wind and water and all that, different forms of generating energy, maybe then it will balance itself out. I don't know, because I guess some people just think, oh, if it's electric, it's much better than thingy, but it does use a lot of energy, I've heard. So
yeah, and that's a really good point. I think, yeah, the whole sustainability angle and how do you manage that? So one thing, because we've been pulling all of our kind of paperwork together, because we're looking at B Corp on the product side of the business, and is that a path we want to take? So again, another area I've been learning quite a lot about. So even things like emails on your, you know, when you send an email out, if you've got like lots of address data and things like that, don't bother, you know, just get rid of it, because that also requires quite a lot of energy. So it's how it's stored, from my understanding. So I think what you've got to be boundaries and actually think, yeah, you know, you've got to, you know, bring that conscious element in. And do you need to be, you know, online asking ChatGPT to add something up when you can get your, you know, get your calculator out? So
or use your own mind, or use your own brain to do it.
Or use your brain to do it. Like, is it necessary? And if it is necessary, then I mean, I'm not an expert in this question that you've just asked me, but I'm presuming that it's if you hold the data then on your laptop or your computer, that's where the core energy usage is going to come from. So the best thing is once you've got what you need is delete and get rid of it all, you know, just keep your laptop and your computer clean. So don't hoard the data in the same way that we can hoard paper. You know, it's just another hoarding, isn't it? So I think it's that, it's being conscious. Just, you know, the more conscious you are, the more aware you are, you know, the less likely you are, I think, to get into that place where actually it's going against the positive aspects of saving time, because then, you know, it's causing other issues.
And my second point was, do you think there's any worry of it enhancing people that maybe aren't as qualified as in what they do, and making them seem like they are, because obviously they've had this big brain tell them all this stuff that they might not necessarily be fully trained in?
Brilliant question.
I just wondered.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Actually, I think that's a big challenge, and I'm going to say something quite strong here, but I think we're already seeing it with social media. You know, we're already seeing people with thousands and thousands of followers who are not experts necessarily in what they're sharing, but they're very good at social media and building those platforms. So we are opening up. Absolutely, we are opening up something that needs to be managed, you know, better. But then, you know, if you are a therapist and practitioner and you run live sessions, you know, if you're not showing up aligned with the content that you put out, I think it doesn't take long before people,
or you get found out.
You get found out. Yeah, absolutely. it's, you know, there is anything of a holistic nature, there is an alignment process, and you know, this isn't something you're not just going to hide behind a desk for, you know, the whole time that you run your practice, unless I don't know, unless you're doing Zooms all the time, and in which case you don't necessarily, you know, you're not you know, doing live sessions. But no, I think that's a really, really valid question.
Yeah, because I think you could get like a high street spa, if you like, or salon, that maybe is very good at business side of things, and they use ChatGPT and this AI tool to make their website look great and to put all this information out. And then in that same village, you might have a therapist that's more of the old school nature, that just puts the heart and soul into the treatment. It's not great with the, you know, with all of that side of things. And then obviously if someone's looking who to go to, you know, this therapist that's not good at all that stuff might be a 10 times better therapist, but they're obviously probably going to be more persuaded to go to this other place because of the glitz and the glamour and of all the, it looks professional, blah, blah, blah. So really, the way technology is going, people are just going to have to kind of try and keep up, aren't they, basically? And that's just the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is the way it is, but it's so good, you know, this whole area that you're talking about. Because actually, if I asked you, the clients that come and see you personally, when you think about why they come to see you, what your USP is, what would you say that is, Chris? Why do they come to you and not go to the, I don't know, to whatever is, you know, the flashy building in the centre of Manchester? Because you've got so much going on there, haven't you?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. They come to me because it's a little canal boat in the countryside. It's not on your high street. You've not got a load of cars driving past constantly. You don't get, you know, it's somewhere to go and to switch off. And I guess it's got that element of being tucked away from all the madness that's you know, going on around us. So I guess that is why I get people coming to see me rather than going to the high street salon or spa or you know, big corporation that does this kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of,
so it's a different customer. It's not the same customer.
Yeah,
that's my point. So I actually don't think, you know, when I'm training independent therapists, and we do work with some holistic spas who want to have an authentic you know, offering of Ayurveda within their spa. So I'm well versed on both sides. And actually, when I'm teaching, I always say to the therapist that actually you're not in competition. It's two completely different services. And you know, what your clients are looking for are you and what you're offering independently. And you know, when you go to you know, the bigger venues, and you're not, you know, you're not necessarily building a relationship up with that therapist. You might go for a one-off session, and then it might be years before you return again, you know. Whereas with you, Chris, they're coming regularly, they're having regular sessions, you're getting to know them, you're getting to know their health, and you're tracking their progress, you're personalizing the treatments. You've got a historical data, you know, with them as well. There's a high level of personal care and attention to, you know, all the individual needs. It's a totally different service.
So anyone listening to this thinking, you know, it sounds quite scary, it sounds quite daunting, I think the best thing to take from it would be that you can use it as little as you want, but it will help in some way, even if it's just writing up a bit of blurb for your website. You know, if you're not great with words, but you know what it is you want to say, you can kind of type that in and it will kind of reword it for you, maybe to sound that little bit more, you know, how you wanted it actually to come out as. So if I was to ask you for anyone listening now that wants to give this a try, so do you have any specific go-to? So is there like one or two different things that you think every therapist should have a try with, experiment with, see what they think? Where would they start in this sort of this AI journey?
I won't go down I think a lot of therapists, what I've seen, I could be wrong, but I think a lot are using Canva already. And so I think you know, a lot of therapists, if they're not well versed in that area, they've got a colleague or somebody in their network who can talk to them about that. But where I think it is really relevant is the stress levels are growing, so more people are online Googling and looking for therapists. So I do think if you can get a blog going, get a regular newsletter going, I do think those two things can make a really good difference to your business if you're looking to to grow more customers. So I would say have a go at ChatGPT.
And do you just Google that? Do you just type in on Google
ChatGPT.com? Yeah. And literally you just can ask it questions straight away. So you can say can you come up with 6 ideas, 10 ideas, put some information in about who you are, what you offer, and ask it then what you want to ask it if you want some ideas for content blogs. And then also I would say it's really good if you want to have a look at your website content. If you've written it yourself, this is a really nice way to maybe think about the way that you're presenting yourself. So you could even ask it, you could say, I've got 4 pages on my website, one's about me, one's about my therapies, and one's about some industry knowledge that I'd like to share. Get some ideas around that and see if that can be presented any better. Will that elevate your presence to people that don't yet know you, that maybe you want to, that you guys would be great working together. I think we find a way as therapists, and having worked with therapists since 2005, facilitating our beautiful sessions in treatment rooms is the gift. Absolutely 100%. But I really see that, outside of that, so many therapists that I've worked with, trained, they're not so great at focusing the light on themselves. And there's so much knowledge there. You'll have, we've all got so much knowledge, so much experience. You've been on so many courses, you've worked with so many amazing clients and seen that transformation, that actually, why not have a simple ebook? Why not have something of your knowledge alongside what you do as a practice? Because then actually, when you engage with a new client, it's just something you can email out with your first session. So they also get a deeper experience of you and what you're about, and actually maybe some of the things you've learned along your journey that you're able to now hold that space and facilitate for them. I would love to see every single therapist in the UK, having like a wider knowledge base around them of their knowledge. So I think that's really great as well. So and these tools will just help you save the time. So and put it in a tidy format so that actually you're like, this is great, and put your picture on it and and your qualifications and it's like an extended business card, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
I do think that's a really great thing to do as well.
So anyone wanting to give it a try, just go on chatgpt.com and type in what they're thinking and see what it comes back with. Absolutely. I'm very eager, because I've never done this, so I'm very eager to trial it. Maybe I'll let people know how I get on. I'm sure anyone listening to this is eager to give it a try, and I hope that anyone listening to this that is worried about this in any way is, as long as you keep being authentic and yourself, and we're hands-on therapists, so no matter what you want, if you want to go down this route or not, your connection with your client can't be took over by a computer, so not to worry. Until the massage guns and theraguns and stuff become computerized and can give you a full body massage better than a human, then we'll start worrying.
Which will never happen.
Yeah, exactly.
It will never happen.
No. So listen, it's been a really fascinating topic, and I feel like we could go on. You could take this as far as you want to take it, couldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm sure there'll be lots of questions from people after they've heard this. So if they want to leave a comment, they can do so on the YouTube, if they're listening on via YouTube, or if they're listening, they can leave a comment on the Facebook group for the massage physical touch sort of Facebook group that we've got. We'll monitor it. We'll any questions we'll kind of try and answer. We can badger you and see if you've got any help, any guidance with that. So I would say anyone listening, do subscribe if you're listening on YouTube or Spotify or all the other various channels. Subscribe and like, and get your comments in, get your questions in, because it could be an ongoing topic, this.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, and I think just, once you start to interact with it, if it becomes something that you want to do more of a deeper dive, then like I say, there's so many other apps, and Chris, I'll send you a list, and you can include them with the show episode text, but just establish clear boundaries at the beginning. Just think, how is this going to be helpful? Don't get carried away with thinking, oh, I've got to be involved with all of them because I need to be doing it all. You don't need to be doing it all. Just think, what do you want from your business? What's the next stage for you? And can any of these tools be helpful? And if they can, then that's great. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah. Well, it's been fascinating speaking to you, Sunita. And like I said, I think people are going to really, take to this and think, oh, that might actually be able to save me a little bit of time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to blocking out some time in my diary this week to have a go and have a look and see if it can help me in any way. So you'll all start getting mail outs from me soon. Thinking, God, he's got really good at the way he writes and using big fancy words. So yeah, awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us. This for episode 12. We will be back for more episodes this season. Like I say, we've not put a cap on that yet. So episode 13 is already cooking in the background, and that'll be here before you know it. So Sunita Passy, thank you again. Make sure you link everyone to your socials for Tridosha as well. And we'll get that out to everyone to check out. Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
The Massage and Physical Therapist Talk Show. We discuss the talking points that matter to you, the therapist. A lot of work goes into creating the talk shows, and we'd be very grateful if you can choose Massage Warehouse when shopping for massage supplies so we can continue to create these amazing podcasts. Massage Warehouse is your one-stop shop for massage supplies and does great work supporting our wonderful community. Until next time,